Happy day, friends. Welcome to this week's Sunday Selah. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge, and I'm just here to remind you. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, for being here with me, for being present with yourself, with God, as we dive into this week's message. So, wherever you are, just make sure that you get comfortable because we will be doing a little bit of breathing and going through a little bit of a meditation. So, just make sure you're in a comfortable space if you're watching this, if you're tuning in. Also, make sure you have some water, whether that's after the video is over. You want to just make sure that you're replenishing yourself. Like I said, we are going to be using our breath to ground and to center ourselves before and at the end of this message. Also, if you like to take notes, then I would suggest getting a journal, getting out a notebook, something to write with so that you can take notes. So yeah, again, thank you for being here. Remember that if this message resonates with you, give it a like, share it, subscribe to the channel, whatever you feel called or led to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to use our breath to center ourselves, to tune in so that we can open ourselves up to receiving and to hearing the message that is available to us today in this moment for this week. Okay, it is November 14th. So if you are watching this, I would say this video is great. It's going to speak to the energy of this week, what's present, what could be coming up, what could be present for us this week, November 14th through what would be November 21st. So here we go. Go ahead and close your eyes. And start to notice your breath. So just take your attention to your breath. You're not breathing deeply just yet. You're just taking your attention to your breath. You're just noticing the gentle, soft inhale through your nose and out your nose. Allowing yourself to begin to tune in, allowing yourself to begin to ground into this moment, allowing yourself to get centered upon yourself. So now we'll start to deepen the breath in through our nose and out through your nose. And I'll give us a little count. So in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do that one more time. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. And just allow yourself to relax. Notice how you feel after taking a minute to tune into your breath. Notice the energy that is moving throughout your body after having taken a minute to tune into your breath. Notice the energy around you, how it may feel different from before you started taking those deep breaths. Notice how this moment that you're in now after having taken those deep breaths is different from the moment whenever you first pushed play. And even though the difference may not be huge, there are subtle differences now within your body, within the environment around you, and how you're responding to it even right now in this moment. So just take note of those subtle differences and pay attention to them and ask yourself, how can I continue to utilize my breath as medicine to help ground me and center me, not just now, but in all moments? If you can notice the subtle differences in this moment, right here, right now, then imagine whenever you step out into different moments and bigger things are going on around you, right? And you tune into your breath within those moments. Just imagine the difference that that can make for you. Your breath is medicine. Your breath is medicine. So let's get into this message because I don't want this to be super long. Um, but we're just going to follow the flow of the spirit, right? So for this week's message, whenever I was kind of like meditating before and just kind of tuning in and asking God, okay, what do you want me to speak on? The words going to war with your thoughts came up. So this week, if you're watching this video, it's possible that you could experience this moment of going to war with your thoughts, right? And so what does that mean? What that means is that you're going to come into this battle with your thoughts, and it's going to feel as if you won't be able to overcome or to win the battle, right? You may already be there. You may already be in that space of feeling as if you're at war with your thoughts, feeling as if I did a TikTok video, and the video was on, it was a tapping series about being a prisoner to your own thoughts. And so you may already be in that space, right? And so this week is kind of like the culmination of that. So if you've just really been seeing this battle take place, if you've been seeing yourself be at war with your own thoughts, the culmination of that battle is going to take place this week. That is, if you allow yourself to surrender to the process of what is required, or that is, if you allow yourself to surrender to what is required of you in order to win the battle. Okay. And so what is required of you? So this week, what's going to be required of you is you practicing in being present intentionally. So you practicing intentionally practicing presence, right? Again, so going back to us tuning into our breath. So what that means is utilizing tools that you wouldn't normally utilize, or that you wouldn't normally think to utilize, in order to help you ground, in order to help you stay present, and in order to help you stay centered. So one of the things that you really want to tune into this week is your breath, right? It's a simple breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4, or breathing in for 8 and breathing out for 8, or just a simple deep breath and long exhale, whatever feels best for you. So know that one of the tools that's going to be really beneficial for you this week is your breath, right? And so your spirit is really speaking to this battle that you've been going through for quite some time with your thoughts, right? They've really been taking you over. It seems like, and it feels like, a lot of things have been happening, and we know that a lot of shit has been happening within our world throughout the last, I mean, I'm saying throughout the last few years, but for lifetimes, shit has been happening within our world that can cause us to feel chaotic, right? So another thing that I'm hearing, another thing that's coming up in order for you to really win the battle with your thoughts this week, is for you to come into this space of separation. So there are some things present within your life that you're needing to separate yourself from, right? It could be overeating. It could be, you could be in this space of being at war with your thoughts, and one of the ways that you deal with that is by overeating. One of the ways that you deal with that is by eating food that's not energizing your body, right? And so look at that. If that's you, then take a look at that. Notice how whenever you're eating these foods that aren't really energizing your body, or you're eating from an emotional space, notice how you feel. Do you feel better after that, or do you feel sluggish? Do you feel worse within your body? Does your mind, does that cloud that's within your mind, does it grow thicker, right? Does the fog get thicker, or does it go away, right? And if you make some changes within that, then you'll notice, right? So I feel like I'm feeling like maybe by Wednesday or Thursday, you're gonna make the switch. And in making that switch, you're gonna see almost instantaneously how much of a difference that will make for you in within your mind and within your energy, within your body. And so it could be you haven't been moving your body, right? You're at war with your mind, you're at war with your thoughts, and it's kept you, debilitated you, right? It's kept you in bed. It's caused you to say, you know what, I'm not going to go for my daily walks, or I'm not going to do whatever feels good for my body because I'm just tired, right? So you may think that staying in bed is going to make it better. But what that's doing is I'm seeing it's causing you to disconnect from what fuels you, right? And so that behind everything I just said, so one of the ways for you to win this battle is to reconnect with those things that fuel you. So for me, over the last month or so, it's been getting back into my daily walks. It's been working out daily. It's been waking up and practicing yoga, reconnecting with those things that I was doing consistently that I may not have, that I may have fallen out of doing consistently because my thoughts, because I was at war with my thoughts, right? And so Spirit is saying that battle, that war, that you're going to see the culmination of that this week, as long as you surrender, as long as you take control in the way that you can, right? Because what I'm feeling too is that you're trying to control situations outside of yourself, and because you're finding that you can't, that's frustrating you, that's driving you crazy, that's it's making you mad, or it's making you sad, it's making you feel as if you're not significant, or as if you don't matter because you can't control the situation because it's out of your control, because it's not aligning how you want it to align. And so what that means is it's just not in alignment. And so are you going to essentially give up on yourself or let yourself go because something's out of your control? And this is the week in which you really look at that. This is the week in which you really pay attention to that and you say, no, I'm going to step up to the plate. I'm going to surrender the control that I think I have. Because, like my therapist just told me multiple times, the control you think you have is just an illusion. You really aren't in control of anything except for yourself. And so, look at how whatever control you're trying to have within a situation outside of yourself, this week you're really going to be paying attention to how that control is really just an illusion, right? If you're open to it, if you're ready for that. And if you're watching this video, then I know you're open to it. If you're watching this video, then I know you're ready to surrender to seeing the illusion and climbing out of it, right? Because that's the culmination of the battle, the war that's going on with your thoughts, is you climbing out of the illusion. It's you letting go of the illusions that you're still holding on to. So um, let's see what else is coming up. So the word distracted is coming up, right? The word distracted is coming up. And again, just kind of going back to what I was saying at the beginning, um, your spirit is asking you to let go of those things that within your life, within your experience that are distracting you, right? And it may not, because we're talking about thoughts, it may not even be things. It may just be your interpretation about the things that are going on around you. It may just be your perspective that is causing you to be distracted, right? And so your spirit is saying, let's start letting go of perspectives. Let's look at the situations that you find yourself experiencing. Let's look at the situations that you're finding yourself in, whatever it may be, relationships, jobs, interactions with people at the grocery store, right? Because sometimes you can go to the grocery store and you might have an interaction, or a restaurant, you might have an interaction, and you take on this perspective that that person that's helping you was trying to ruin you in that moment, right? Because, and no, that's not true. So in even in the small moments, in the big moments, and in the small moments this week, your spirit is asking you to pay attention to, once something happens, what is the perspective that you are taking on? What is the perspective that you are allowing yourself to keep about the situation? Because it's not so much, once you once you identify the perspective that you're holding on to, the situation begins to fade, right? So you're holding on to this perspective, and the perspective is what's keeping you tied to the negative experience. And yeah, I'm going to say the negative experience. That your perspective is what's keeping you tied to, it's what's keeping you connected to, it's what's keeping you in bondage to the situation. Your perspective. It's not necessarily the situation itself, because if we're tuning into our breath, if we're being present, that situation is done and over with. But your perspective about it is what's keeping you in bondage, as I was saying. So your spirit is saying they want you to pay attention to, when your mind goes back to that situation, your spirit is saying pay attention to the perspective that you're keeping, and ask yourself, how can I shift this perspective, right? Allow your spirit to show you how you can shift the perspective to a higher perspective, to a more high vibrational perspective, which probably would include lessons that you need to integrate into your daily life, which would probably include, um, yeah, it would include lessons that you need to integrate, and also taking on a higher perspective, or letting go of the perspective altogether and just letting all of it go, is going to help to raise your vibration, because that's where you are, right? You're ready to let go of the low vibrations. You're ready to move into this high vibrational space. You've been tasting and seeing, right? Taste and see that the Lord is good. You've been tasting and seeing that joy, and that inner peace feels good, right? You've been tasting and seeing, and now God is saying, I want you to experience that inner bliss and that inner peace and that joy, right? I want you to experience that. That's the whole meal. That is the meal, right? It's not just the appetizer and then you go back and then the meal turns back into something bad. No, it's all of those things. They're the appetizer, they're the meal, they're the dessert. And so in every moment, that's what God is wanting you to experience. And it's kind of like you're seeing yourself in this space of experiencing joy and bliss and peace within moments. And then it's like you fall right back into that loop, or you fall right back into that pattern of taking those things away from yourself. And your spirit is saying it has nothing to do, right? Because then you go back into that space of blame. Oh, well, this is why I can't stay in that space. And so your spirit is saying, when you do that, you're giving control to something outside of yourself, right? When all control really belongs to you. And so then, um, mm, yeah, what else, Spirit? What else do you have? Because there was something else. So I'm like, let's back up. I felt something else. If it's supposed to come through, it'll come through. Okay. So just still in line with that last thought, it's your perspective that's robbing you of the joy. It's your perspective that's robbing you of that inner peace that's always present, right? And it's your perspective that's robbing you of that bliss, that childlike feeling of bliss. It's simply your perspective of a thing, of a situation, of yourself, right? That's robbing you of those things. And so allow yourself, give yourself permission to, number one, surrender to the call that is calling out to you to let go of low vibrational perspectives and to reach for the higher vibrational perspectives. Surrender this week to ooh, whew, whew, surrender to the inner knowing that the battle, that the war is already won, that the war is already over. And allow yourself to find out what happens when you surrender to that inner knowing. Allow yourself to find out what happens when, when you allow yourself to surrender to yourself, right? Because you're giving control to something outside of yourself, but you are calling you to something higher. So allow yourself to find out what happens when you surrender to you, because ultimately that's what you're surrendering to. You're surrendering to yourself. Okay. Just take a deep breath in with me. And exhale. And do that again in through your nose. And as you exhale, repeat to yourself, I am surrendering to myself. And just feel into that. Feel into that. Allow yourself to rest in the surrender. Allow yourself to be present with the thoughts, right? We're not looking at the thoughts and saying, oh, go away, let me stop thinking. No, we're seeing the thoughts this week. We're observing them, because in order for you to see what perspective you need to let go of, you have to put yourself in this, you have to put yourself in the state of being the observer. And one of the ways that you do that is by tuning into your breath, by tuning into those things that fuel you, right? If it's walking, if it's working out, if it's going to the park, if it's drawing, if it's painting, if it's singing, if it's dancing, tune into those things to help you, because it's those things that fuel you that are going to help to ground you and center you. And so when you center yourself, when you ground yourself, you're not giving as much control to anything outside of yourself. Okay. So we are going to, for just a couple of minutes, we're going to, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to put your hands into prayer position with your thumbs pressing firmly up against your sternum. And begin to notice your heartbeat. Begin to feel your heart beating. You can, with your thumbs, you can feel your heartbeat. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale out through your mouth. And then I want you to repeat after me. This week, I am surrendering to myself within every moment that I encounter. This week, I am practicing a deep, deep sense of presence. This week, I'm intentionally surrendering to what allows me to feel good within my mind, heart, and body. This week, I am letting go of low vibrational perspectives and I am reaching for higher ones. This week, I am letting go of low vibrational perspectives and I am allowing myself to align with higher ones. This week, I am taking on the role of the observer and I am watching the war that I have been in with my thoughts come to an end. This week, I am choosing to celebrate the ending of this battle. This week, I am choosing to celebrate and honor myself as I choose that which is higher. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out through your mouth. And then relax your hands down, open your eyes. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present for this message, right? This you tuning into this message was you being present with yourself, right? Because this is flowing through me, flowing through you, through me, back to you, right? And so I just appreciate you being here. If this resonated with you, of course, leave a comment. Let me know. I love to, have the conversations. I love to see what people have to say. If it resonated with you, share it with somebody that you love. If it resonated with you, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. I love you. And enjoy your week. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the freedom that you are resting in this week. And I'm saying not you that you will rest in this week, but that you are resting in this week because I see you. I see you resting. I see you being centered. I see you experiencing this grounded energy, right? I see you tuning into the inner peace that has always been there for you. I see you surrendering. I see you giving it up. I see you allowing yourself to be in alignment with the high vibrational perspectives. I see that for you, and I'm grateful that you get to experience that. I'm grateful that you get to live in that. So I love you. Be blessed.